So that's it, beginning of a new era. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Steph. I did some drifting back in 2007, 2008 in Canada. It was a total blast, like seriously the time of my life. The reason why I left obviously was finances, right? Being in your 20s, it's really difficult to manage a lot of things, but definitely money. You know, I had no really good job. I was in quite over my head. When I left, it was rough. You know, when you really love something and you got to let it go, it is tough. Kind of feel really bad for some of the things that happened. And, you know, I guess, long story short, I guess it's part of growing up. Learned a lot from it for sure. I had a car when I was 11. I love engines. I love cars ever since I was young. Bought my first S13 in 2006, blew the motor on the way home, launched a rod out of the engine. And I just really love rear-wheel drive, high horsepower cars. Love drifting, love throwing it sideways, love going fast. So I'm going to pull the Z off the street. I bought a truck and I'm just going to be U-hauling it to events. I got to be careful though, because, you know, running this thing, I can burn through at least $4,000 a month. So, you know, doing what I really want to do is running it every weekend. Obviously, I won't be able to start there. I'm going to run myself into the black right away. But yeah, I mean, I definitely have the motivation and, you know, the motivation really to work on the car, to get the car ready, to be out there. And I just got to work on my driving. You know, back in the day, there was no angle kits. Like if you had 380 at the wheels, you were good. Yeah, the sport has come a long way, like a really long way. Basically learning how to re-drive with tons of angle, a lot more power. Really a blast. And I'm just getting started again and I still suck. But, you know, it's going to get better with seat time, right? So that's why I really want to run the car every weekend. I want to run the car every weekend to really do what I need to do. I'm going to have to run the car every weekend. But, you know, I'm going to start like slow, you know, as I can and take it from there. But I think, you know, the real first step is taking the car off the street. So that's it. That's what I'm here to do. Drop the announcement. The car's getting pulled from the street and it's going to be run on the track. Going all in. I'm definitely looking for crew members. So if you love to film stuff or if you love to come to car events and be involved, I'm looking for, you know, 1 or 2 filming guys would be great. Somebody maybe good with their hands who likes to get dirty a bit to, you know, help take care of the car or, you know, mount tires, stuff like that. I can't pay you, but, you know, maybe I can pay your entrance fee and your way for the day. And who knows what's going to happen, right? So a lot of the times things start small with small expectations and then they blow up. So we'll see what's going to happen. I'm going to be trying a lot of stuff, you know, I'm going to have to try a lot of things to try to make ends meet. You know, if any of the guys who are there see this, you know, and they want to help me in any way, like with some advice or mentoring, you know, please shoot me a direct message. The link somewhere. And so, yeah, I just want to like have a ton of fun. I want to roll the car as much as possible. And I want to get a lot better at drifting, obviously, too. And if I can somehow run the car enough this year and it goes really well, I would love to run in Pro-Am next year. Obviously, there's no way for me right now to see the budget working, but I guess it's always like that, right? So starting small, starting with small expectations, having a lot of fun, and then seeing where we end up. I think it's pretty much the approach. Yeah, cannot wait. And I really just want to drive the car. You know, I blew the motor at the beginning of the year. Yeah, so at Race Wars, I ran E85 for the first time in this thing. And I left it on high boost map for a little bit. So I think it was boosting like at around 14.5 pounds. Literally 14.5 pounds on E85. So my rods ended up looking like like this. I'll show you guys after because I don't want to reposition the camera. But yeah, every rod in the motor was bent. They were all like crooked and like not how rods are supposed to look. So hopefully if I keep the boost lower, like around 11 and a half, I think it at around 11 and a half pounds on E85, as long as I keep the temps down and as long as it's tuned right, it should hold together and it should have quite a lot of power still. So, you know, I think I wanted to push the limits of the stock block, and I think I found the limits of the stock block pretty quick. You know, I had the motor here, but like always, right, costs add up like crazy. So the motor was already paid for. I think it was $1,800 or $2,000. It was from an all-wheel drive Q50. So I was missing the rear-wheel drive pan. I was missing a ton of other stuff. You know, by the time everything was said and done, it was basically 3Gs. I forked out, did the flywheel, did the plugs, did the pan. What else was there? Rebuilt clutch, disc, which is cheap. There was a couple of other orders that I had to make. Yeah, I had to upgrade my fans, so I stopped running so hot. There was some other stuff in there. I know it sounds like a lot of money, but literally I spent like $3,000. I really love working on the car. So for me, working on cars is like one of the best parts. Other than driving it is the best. Working on it's second best. I mean, I don't mind every day after work coming out here and slaving away on this thing. It's really like a passion and I love it. Especially like when you take a car that, you know, is stock and then you turn it into this, right? I mean, it's awesome. Oh yeah, so I'm thinking of doing also like fun things like follow to ride on Instagram. So if I end up doing it, pretty much, you know, you come to my car, you see me and my car there, you come and show me that you're following me, and if you have a helmet, I'm letting you in the car. Lots of other fun things, you know, I want to make it really fun. I want to have fun, and you know, it's important for me to keep in mind, like, if I really want to sustain this, you know, I have to pay attention to all the other things that I never gave about when I was in my 20s, right? So, you know, social media stuff, you know, anything I can do to really just get out there. And that's really partly why I want to run the car every weekend. You know, I want to run the car every weekend so badly. I just cannot afford it yet, but hopefully one day I'll get there. Like, there's a lot of drivers and there's a lot of good drivers. So I really need to run out of this thing, and I really need to progress every time I take the car out. I mean, definitely there to have a lot of fun, but I definitely want to improve now. So that's really part of the reason of putting the car on the trailer. You know, it's like if something happens to the car and it's for 2 weeks and it has to sit there, well, at least it's not a street car and it just rolls back in the garage, and that's that. I'm gonna probably be trying some sideline stuff too. There may be more announcements coming out soon. Like I'm not kidding when I say all in. Like when I say all in, it's like I wake up at 7, I work for 2 hours on this, I go to work, I work from home, but hey, I still friggin' work pretty hard. Yeah, 5 o'clock comes and it's like most of the time I've got the plan set for the evening and I'm like on fire doing all for this, you know. And I think if I really keep it up, it's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay off, you know. I'm thinking about bringing the car to Montmagny for the next competition, obviously just to watch, but day 2 there's an open drift day. So you know, I've been to Montmagny a long time ago in the S13. I'd love to go in this car. It would be really fun. Plus, I think since I went, they added a back section too. So, you know, I'm trying to just get the tuning finished and then trying to throw together a budget. My budget is still really tight, especially because I'm just recovering from blowing the motor and all the other stuff. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? The summer is going to end, and it's like, I don't have forever either, right? So I really, really want to progress before the fall. I really want to progress before the fall. So, you know, if I have to eat a lot of rice and chicken all winter and lay low, well, I guess that's what it is. And the car. So the car, pretty much 600 wheel horsepower, Fast Intentions Twin Turbo Z. I think there's not one suspension arm that has not been swapped out on this thing. I mean, it's got almost everything that you could ever want except the cage and rear rad. Yeah, obviously nowadays with all the stuff they have, obviously I could want a lot more, but it can get the job done. There she is. So yeah, this is the garage. Pretty well set up, kind of small, but big enough, that's for sure. Truck, car. So yeah, the tire shed. As long as I keep this thing full of tires, the car will roll. Forget what I had in here. Haven't come to look since I blew the motor. Yeah, I'd say there's enough for a day of fun. Maybe 3/4 of a day. And so yeah, I'm definitely not a vlogger, so you probably won't see this kind of format of video too often. But definitely when I got updates or I got something to say, I'll definitely come on and let everyone know. And so yeah, eventually, you know, we'll see what's gonna happen. And that's it. That's it. This is it for my first video. See you later. Ciao.